The SUV market is collapsing in ways that would have been unthinkable just 3 years ago. While manufacturers and dealers feed you stories about market adjustments and strategic inventory management, the brutal truth is that 9 SUV brands are hemorrhaging value faster than a blown head gasket. These are not minor corrections. We are talking about dealerships slashing prices by 25 to 35% on brand new SUVs that used to command premiums above sticker price. The same vehicles that had 6-month waiting lists in 2021 are now collecting dust on dealer lots with desperate price cuts that insult everyone who paid full price last year. You have been lied to about supply chain recoveries and stabilizing markets. The reality is, these 9 SUV brands are in full panic mode, dumping inventory at whatever price gets buyers through the door. Before I expose exactly which brands are crashing hardest and why their fire sale pricing reveals deeper problems than anyone admits, smash that subscribe button because what I am about to reveal will save you thousands if you are shopping for an SUV, or explain why your current vehicle just lost shocking amounts of value overnight. Number 9. Land Rover. The British luxury SUV brand that once symbolized rugged sophistication is now synonymous with catastrophic depreciation and reliability nightmares. Land Rover's resale value freefall has become the worst in the entire luxury SUV segment, with 3-year-old Range Rovers losing approximately 60 to 65% of their original value. That means a Range Rover purchased for $95,000 in 2021 is now worth barely $35,000 in today's market. This is not depreciation. This is financial annihilation for owners who believed the luxury badge meant retained value. Dealer lots are overwhelmed with off-lease Range Rovers that nobody wants to buy even at massive discounts. The wholesale auctions tell the real story. Land Rover products are sitting through multiple auction cycles without meeting reserve prices as dealers refuse to take losses that would still leave them with unsellable inventory. Number 8. Lincoln. Ford's luxury division is experiencing an identity crisis that manifests in inventory bloat and panic pricing across its SUV lineup. The Aviator and Navigator, Lincoln's flagship SUVs, are sitting on dealer lots for an average of 110 days, nearly double the industry average, and a clear indication that premium pricing no longer matches market demand. What went wrong for a brand that seemed resurgent just 5 years ago? Lincoln's technology gap has become impossible to ignore as competitors sprint ahead with advanced driver assistance systems and cutting-edge infotainment. Number 7. Infiniti. Nissan's luxury division has become the forgotten brand in luxury SUV showrooms, with inventory levels that suggest dealers have given up on aggressive selling. The QX50, QX55, and QX60 are experiencing days on lot averages exceeding 140 days at some dealerships, creating holding costs that force unprecedented price cuts just to free up capital and lot space. Some dealers are advertising $10,000 off vehicles that have been sitting since early production runs, a tacit admission that original pricing was fantastically optimistic. Infiniti's innovation stagnation is killing the brand's relevance among luxury SUV buyers who expect cutting-edge features. The VC turbo engine, Infiniti's variable compression technology, was supposed to revolutionize efficiency and performance. Instead, it arrived years late, offers marginal real-world benefits, and appears in limited applications across the lineup. Meanwhile, competitors have moved on to electrification and plug-in hybrid technology that makes Infiniti's conventional powertrains feel obsolete, regardless of variable compression ratios. The lease value crisis hits Infiniti harder than almost any luxury brand. Residual values have collapsed to levels that make competitive lease offers mathematically impossible without massive manufacturer subvention. A QX60 that originally carried 58% residual values after 3 years now projects at 44%, a catastrophic decline that adds $150 to monthly lease payments. Infiniti compensates with manufacturer support that devastates per-unit profitability, creating a business model that cannot sustain itself long-term. Number 6. Cadillac. America's historic luxury brand is experiencing an SUV crisis that threatens its electric vehicle transformation before it truly begins. The Lyriq electric SUV, positioned as Cadillac's future, faces production constraints and delivery delays that have squandered crucial early adopter enthusiasm and media momentum. Customers who reserved Lyriq models in 2021 are still waiting for delivery in 2024, creating frustration that pushes potential buyers toward Tesla, Mercedes, and BMW alternatives that actually exist in deliverable form. Meanwhile, Cadillac's conventional SUV lineup suffers from neglect as resources shift toward electrification. The XT4, XT5, and XT6 have received minimal updates while competitors introduce redesigned models with advanced technology. This creates a dangerous gap where current products lack competitiveness while future electric products remain unavailable, leaving dealers with nothing compelling to sell in the critical present moment. Inventory imbalances are creating chaos across the Cadillac dealer network. Some dealers have excessive XT6 inventory sitting for 90-plus days, while simultaneously having zero Lyriq allocation to satisfy customer interest. This mismatch between supply and demand forces aggressive discounting on unwanted conventional models while creating customer frustration about unavailable electric vehicles. One Cadillac dealer confided that they are offering $8,000 discounts on XT5 models just to clear lot space, knowing that every conventional SUV sold today is a customer who will not buy the electric products Cadillac's future depends on. The demographic challenge facing Cadillac is perhaps most threatening to long-term viability. Current Cadillac owners average over 62 years old, and conquest data shows minimal success attracting younger luxury buyers. These traditional customers have limited interest in electric vehicles, preferring the conventional powertrains they understand. Meanwhile, younger buyers interested in EVs perceive Cadillac as their grandparents' brand, lacking the technological credibility of Tesla or the luxury pedigree of German alternatives. Cadillac's dealer transformation requirements are straining the already tense manufacturer-dealer relationship. General Motors demands facility investments exceeding $500,000 for electric vehicle capability, including charging infrastructure, specialized tools, and technician training. Many dealers already struggling with slow-selling conventional inventory resist these investments while Lyriq availability remains limited. Some have simply abandoned the Cadillac franchise rather than commit additional capital to an uncertain future, further shrinking the retail network exactly when expansion should occur. Number 5. Volvo. The Swedish brand's premium positioning is crumbling as value-conscious buyers reject pricing that no longer matches brand perception or product reality. Volvo's aggressive price creep over the past 5 years has pushed models like the XC90 and XC60 into territory that competes directly with German luxury brands, but without the status those badges provide. A loaded XC90 now exceeds $75,000, pricing that demands perfection. Instead, customers encounter technology glitches, build quality inconsistencies, and reliability concerns that contradict Volvo's safety-focused image. The reliability slide is particularly damaging for a brand built on Swedish dependability. Consumer Reports dropped Volvo's reliability rating by double digits after tracking problems with infotainment systems, electrical components, and Volvo's complex Drive-E powertrains. Owners report frustrating dealer visits for issues that often require multiple repair attempts, undermining confidence in vehicles purchased specifically for worry-free ownership. One XC60 owner documented 7 dealer visits in 18 months for recurring electrical problems that were never fully resolved. These experiences proliferate online, creating reputation damage that spreads faster than Volvo's marketing can counteract. Inventory levels at Volvo dealerships reveal softening demand that contradicts the brand's premium aspirations. Days on lot averages have climbed to 85 days, well above luxury segment norms and indicative of pricing resistance. Dealers respond with incentive programs that officially do not exist, as Volvo maintains public positions about protecting brand value while privately offering dealer cash and customer incentives that reduce transaction prices by $4,000 to $6,000. This disconnect between public messaging and private reality creates customer distrust when shoppers discover the incentives through online research. The electrification stumble is costing Volvo critical momentum in its most important strategic initiative. The brand committed to full electrification earlier and more aggressively than most competitors, but execution has not matched ambition. The Recharge plug-in hybrid models suffer from limited electric range that disappoints customers expecting meaningful gas-free driving. Meanwhile, fully electric models like the XC40 Recharge face charging anxiety from customers who discover Volvo's charging network partnerships lag behind Tesla's supercharger convenience. Parent company Geely's Chinese ownership creates subtle but persistent brand perception challenges in the American market. While Volvo maintains Swedish engineering centers and European production, some buyers remain skeptical about Chinese corporate influence on what was historically a distinctly Swedish brand. This perception issue, fair or not, creates conquest barriers when Volvo attempts to steal buyers from German or Japanese luxury brands. Market research shows approximately 15% of potential Volvo buyers cite ownership concerns as a consideration factor, a hidden barrier that limits market growth regardless of product quality. Number 4. Acura. Honda's luxury division faces an existential question about why it still exists as Acura SUVs become increasingly difficult to distinguish from their Honda counterparts. The value proposition collapse is nearly complete as MDX and RDX models fail to justify their premium pricing over Pilot and CR-V alternatives. When a loaded Honda Pilot offers comparable space, similar features, and better value retention for $8,000 less than an entry MDX, the Acura premium becomes impossible to defend. Customers are not stupid. They research specifications, compare feature lists, and realize they are paying thousands extra for slightly different styling and upgraded materials that do not justify the cost. This comparison becomes devastating at the dealership level, where Honda and Acura showrooms often share facilities. Customers literally walk between Honda and Acura displays, comparing sticker prices and discovering that Acura's luxury positioning rests on marginal differences that fail to justify substantial price premiums. Sales staff struggle to articulate the Acura value proposition beyond vague assertions about refinement and prestige that ring hollow when the vehicles share platforms, engines, and basic technology with Honda siblings. The technology lag problem is becoming catastrophic for Acura's competitive position. While Honda can justify slightly older technology at mainstream prices, Acura's luxury positioning demands cutting-edge features that simply are not appearing in the showroom. The true touchpad interface, Acura's infotainment solution, has become industry-mocked for its frustrating operation that requires taking eyes off the road. Competitors offer more intuitive, feature-rich systems that make Acura's solution feel a generation behind, regardless of its theoretical benefits. Dealer incentive dependency has reached levels that undermine any pretense of luxury positioning. Industry data shows Acura dealers receiving manufacturer support exceeding $3,500 per vehicle on MDX models, with additional dealer discounts bringing total price reductions to $6,000 or more. These incentives are not advertised as luxury brands attempt to maintain premium images, but savvy shoppers discover them through online research and negotiation. Once customers know about massive available discounts, the luxury positioning collapses entirely. Brand identity confusion leaves Acura without a clear market position or customer base. Too expensive to compete with mainstream Honda on value, yet lacking the prestige or performance credentials to challenge true luxury brands, Acura occupies an uncomfortable middle ground that satisfies nobody. Performance enthusiasts remember the NSX and Integra Type R, but see nothing comparable in today's SUV-dominated lineup. Luxury seekers find better technology, materials, and status in German alternatives. Value shoppers choose Honda products that deliver similar capability for less money. This leaves Acura appealing to an ever-shrinking demographic of brand loyalists from the 1990s who are aging out of the market without replacement by younger buyers. Number 3. Buick. General Motors' premium mainstream brand is experiencing a slow-motion collapse as its SUV lineup fails to attract anyone beyond existing loyal customers over age 60. The demographic time bomb is counting down as the average Buick buyer age now exceeds 65 years old, with almost zero conquest success among buyers under 45. This is not a temporary marketing challenge. This is an existential crisis where the customer base is literally dying off without replacement. Industry analysts project that, at current demographic trends, Buick's viable customer pool will shrink by 40% within the next decade simply through actuarial tables. The inventory overhang at Buick dealerships reflects this demographic reality as Enclave and Encore models sit for 95-plus days on average. Dealers are slashing prices by $5,000 to $7,000 just to move units that then become certified pre-owned vehicles nobody wants to buy. The used market for Buicks has become toxic as 3-year-old models lose 55 to 60% of their original value. Depreciation rates that approach luxury vehicles without the luxury ownership experience. This residual value collapse destroys lease competitiveness and creates negative equity traps for current owners. Product relevance issues cut deeper than simple age demographics. Buick's SUV lineup lacks any distinguishing characteristics that give customers reasons to choose them over competitors. The Encore and Encore GX compete in ultra-competitive subcompact and compact segments where Korean brands offer better features, warranties, and value. The Envision fights in the mid-size segment against established players with stronger reputations. The Enclave battles 3-row competitors that offer more sophisticated technology and better driving dynamics. In every segment, Buick products are objectively adequate, but subjectively forgettable. General Motors' consolidation threats loom over every Buick decision as analysts openly question whether the brand has any long-term future in North America. Despite success in China, Buick's American operations increasingly look redundant within GM's portfolio. Chevrolet covers mainstream segments, GMC handles trucks and premium SUVs, and Cadillac occupies luxury territory. What role does Buick serve beyond absorbing development costs and dealer network maintenance? Industry insiders suggest GM executives are quietly planning Buick's eventual phase-out, maintaining the brand only while Chinese sales remain strong. The marketing message confusion reflects a brand without clear identity or purpose. Buick's advertising oscillates between quiet luxury, attainable premium, and youthful energy without committing to a coherent positioning. One campaign emphasizes sophisticated maturity, the next targets young families, and the following attempts to capture professional women. This identity crisis reveals internal confusion about who Buick's customers are, what they value, and why they should choose Buick over alternatives. Without clear answers to these fundamental questions, marketing becomes expensive noise that generates awareness without converting consideration into sales. Number 2, Alfa Romeo. The Italian brand's American adventure is ending in disaster as SUV sales collapse and dealers abandon the franchise in shocking numbers. The Stelvio and Tonale, Alfa Romeo's only SUVs, are experiencing inventory crises where dealers cannot move units even with incentives exceeding $7,500. The fundamental problem is that American buyers remain skeptical about Italian reliability, unconvinced by parent company Stellantis' assurances that these vehicles meet mainstream durability standards. Early reliability reports confirm those fears as accurate. The dealer network implosion provides the most visible evidence of Alfa Romeo's failure. From a peak of approximately 135 dealers nationwide, the network has collapsed to fewer than 90 locations, with additional closures announced monthly. Each dealer termination represents millions in lost investment from dealers who believed Alfa Romeo's promises about American market commitment. Those dealers are now cutting their losses, choosing to exit rather than continue selling vehicles with minimal customer interest and problematic service requirements. The resale value catastrophe is destroying any possibility of competitive lease offers or retained value for purchasers. 3-year-old Stelvio models are losing approximately 65% of their original value, depreciation that rivals the worst luxury brands. This collapse makes leasing essentially impossible at payments competitive with German alternatives, while purchase customers face negative equity almost immediately. One Stelvio owner reported that their vehicle lost $18,000 in value during the first 18 months of ownership, a financial disaster that ensures they will never consider Alfa Romeo again. Brand awareness void represents perhaps the most fundamental barrier to Alfa Romeo success. Despite years of marketing investment and Formula One racing sponsorship, consumer awareness remains shockingly low. Market research reveals fewer than 40% of American luxury SUV buyers can correctly identify Alfa Romeo as a luxury brand, with many confusing it with Fiat or believing the company no longer exists. This anonymity makes conquest sales nearly impossible regardless of product quality or pricing incentives. The Stellantis commitment question haunts every Alfa Romeo discussion as parent company executives offer contradictory signals about the brand's American future. Some statements emphasize long-term commitment and upcoming product launches. Others hint at retrenchment and focus on European markets where brand awareness is stronger. This uncertainty paralyzes dealers who cannot invest in facilities and training without confidence in corporate support. Industry analysts privately acknowledge that Alfa Romeo's American operations are likely terminal, with complete withdrawal possible within 3 years, as Stellantis prioritizes profitable Jeep and Ram brands over expensive Italian prestige projects with minimal return. Number 1. Maserati. The Italian luxury brand is experiencing a complete collapse in American SUV sales as the Levante and Greco fail spectacularly in the competitive luxury market. Maserati's desperation pricing has reached levels that insult previous buyers and destroy any remaining brand prestige. Dealers are offering discounts exceeding $15,000 on Levante models, with some used examples selling for 70% less than their original sticker price after just 3 years. This is not a luxury brand pricing strategy. This is a going out of business liquidation in slow motion. The quality reputation crisis has become terminal for Maserati's American operations. The brand consistently ranks among the absolute worst for reliability across all consumer tracking organizations, with J.D. Power placing Maserati in the bottom 3 for the past 4 consecutive years. Electrical systems fail regularly, interior trim pieces detach, and mechanical components require replacement at costs that shock even luxury brand owners expecting premium maintenance. One Levante owner documented $23,000 in repairs during just 40,000 miles of ownership, including transmission replacement, electrical system overhaul, and suspension work. These experiences create word-of-mouth devastation that no advertising budget can overcome. The dealer network survival question looms as facilities close at accelerating rates. Maserati's American dealer count has dropped below 70 locations and continues falling as profitability evaporates. Dealers report selling fewer than 3 vehicles monthly, volumes that cannot support dedicated facilities or trained staff. The remaining dealers increasingly share showrooms with other Stellantis brands, eliminating any pretense of exclusive Italian luxury experience. Service department nightmares compound ownership, frustration as parts availability and technician expertise prove inadequate. Customers report waiting weeks for basic repairs while parts ship from Italy, then discovering that local technicians lack training to properly diagnose complex issues. These service experiences transform owners into brand detractors who actively discourage friends and family from considering Maserati, regardless of pricing incentives or product improvements. The pricing strategy incoherence reveals a brand without direction or purpose. Maserati positions itself as Ferrari's accessible luxury sibling, but products lack the performance credentials or exclusivity to justify the positioning. The Levante uses a Chrysler-derived platform and shares components with Jeep products, similarities that undermine Italian exotic positioning once customers research specifications. Meanwhile, performance variants like the Trofeo command prices exceeding $170,000, territory where customers can access genuine exotic alternatives with better brand pedigree and retained value. Parent company Stellantis's commitment appears finished as strategic planning documents omit Maserati from American market discussions. Industry analysts report that Stellantis executives privately acknowledge Maserati's American operations are unsustainable, with complete withdrawal being actively planned. The brand's future centers on Chinese and Middle Eastern markets, where Italian prestige still carries meaning. American operations will likely survive temporarily to support existing owners, then quietly close as service obligations expire and dealer agreements terminate. The slow-motion exit has already begun. So there you have it, 9 SUV brands that went from commanding premiums to begging for buyers at fire sale prices. What this crisis really reveals is that badge engineering, heritage, and marketing promises cannot overcome quality problems, value gaps, and changing customer priorities. Loyalty is extinct, reputation matters more than advertising, and once depreciation spirals begin, no amount of incentive spending can restore brand value. The brutal truth is several of these brands will not survive the next 5 years in the American market. Who is next to join the automotive graveyard? Drop a comment telling me which brand shocked you most. Smash that like button so more people see the truth behind dealer lot desperation, and subscribe because this automotive train wreck is accelerating and someone needs to document the carnage.